Next, another important point in SN1 reaction, if nucleophile is solvent or solvent is acting as a nucleophile, then the reaction is called as solvolysis. The reaction is called as solvolysis. The reaction is simply called as solvolysis. Here example for this reaction, and the solvolysis reactions occurs in 3 steps. Actually normal reactions occurs in 2 steps. SN1 reactions occurs in 2 steps, but solvolysis reactions occurs in 3 steps. For example, H2O is acting as a nucleophile and also acting as a solvent. We said now polar protic solvent H2O, it is acting as a nucleophile and it is also acting as a solvent. Then here suppose I am taking R1 and this is R2 and this is R3, and here suppose if it is chlorine, and here first step what happens in the polar protic solvent presence. Here polar protic solvent means H2O presence. It is the slow step or rate determining step, slow step or rate determining step. Then what happens, first this pair of electrons taken up by this chlorine and this is forming R1 and here it is R2 and this is R3 and here positive charge is present and here Cl minus is released. Cl minus is released as a leaving group, and here carbocation, tertiary carbocation formation occur. This is the reaction intermediate. Okay, this is called as the reaction intermediate. And in the second step what happened, this is first step, slow step and first step. This is first step. Okay, and in the second step, this is second step, fast step. This second step and fast step, here nucleophile attacks. Here what is a nucleophile? Yes, this is water. Water contains 2 lone pairs on it. Oxygen atom contains 2 lone pairs, and these 2 lone pairs can attack from the front side or it can attack. This lone pair is attacking on this carbon positive charge, or the lone pair it is attacking on the positive charge from the back side. So either from the front side or either from the back side it attacks to give 2 products. Here one is R1 and here it is R2 and here it is R3, and here OH2, one lone pair is present, another lone pair made a bond between carbon and oxygen. So oxygen is getting positive charge because it is not present on the oxygen, that lone pair is in bonding. And the another compound which is formed is OH2. Here also it contains a lone pair and this is positive charge, carbon, R1, R2 and R3. These are the 2 compounds. This is front side attack and this is the back side attack product. This is retention product and this is inversion product. And the third step means, this is the third step. I am writing third step. What is the third step means? Deprotonation. Here H plus is released from this. Here H plus is released from this or from this. And so what is the final product? Here it is giving R1 and this is R2 and this is R3 and here OH. Now lone pair, 2 lone pair, and again OH, here 2 lone pairs, and C, R1 and R2 and R3. So this is third step and that is a deprotonation step. Okay, so please remember, if nucleophile is a solvent or the solvent which is taken in the SN1 reaction itself acts as a nucleophile, then those reactions are called as solvolysis reactions. For example, H2O is acting as a nucleophile and as a solvent. I took the example for this, and in this reaction this is first step and the second step is attack of nucleophile H2O which is also a solvent, and in the third step deprotonation occurs. That is a solvolysis process. In solvolysis process or solvent acting as a nucleophile process, there are 3 steps. Please remember that. Otherwise, if solvent is not nucleophile and solvent are different, then there is only two steps. Next, factors influencing SN1 reaction. Here there are some factors which influences SN1 reaction. In this, first factor is nature of alkyl halide. Okay, the nature of alkyl halide. Here generally what type of alkyl halides in more favorable for SN1 reaction? And very important thing is the order of reactivity of SN1 towards SN1 reaction is directly proportional to stability of carbocation. This is very important point. Sorry. The order of reactivity towards SN1 reaction is directly proportional to stability of carbocation formed. Here, for example, I am taking CH3Cl and I am taking CH3Cl and I am taking CH3Cl, CH3 and CH3. Then here if you are taking three different alkyl halides which will undergoes to SN1 reaction more readily. If you are taking in this is called as a primary alkyl halide or a methyl halide, and this is a secondary carbon atom, so it is called as a secondary alkyl halide, and this is a tertiary alkyl halide. If it is undergoing to first step of SN1, what is the carbocation forming? Methyl carbocation. And if this is undergoing to first step of the SN1 reaction, it forms a secondary carbocation. And if it is undergoing to first step, it is forming tertiary carbocation. Then which is a more stable carbocation? Please tell me which is more stable carbocation. Here the more stable carbocation is always tertiary carbocation according to the inductive effect principle or according to the hyperconjugation. Here hyperconjugation structures and inductive effect we studied in the GOC of first year, and according to inductive effect here 3 +I groups are present. More is the number of +I groups, positive charged carbocation stability increases, and 2 +I groups less compared with this. And here no inductive effect, here only it is having CH3 plus. Okay, so here this is having more number of +I groups and having hyperconjugation. So the stability of carbocations, if you are taking, tertiary is more stable than secondary is more stable than primary carbocation. So because of this reason, in these three compounds which is easily undergoing to reaction, if you are taking, third compound undergoes to SN1 reaction more readily than second compound than first compound. So very important thing, please remember, whenever you are checking a compound whether it undergoes to SN1 reaction or not, first check the stability of the carbocation. If the carbocation is more stable formed by that compound, then it is having more reactivity towards SN1. Okay, that is first point. So why we are telling tertiary alkyl halides undergoes SN1 means because it forms a more stable carbocation. Okay. Second point, leaving group nature. Suppose we are having alkyl fluoride we are having alkyl chloride, we are having alkyl bromide, we are having alkyl iodide. Okay, whatever it may be, R group must be same for all these four compounds. Alkyl group is same, but halogen is different. Then which will undergoes to SN1 reaction more readily? Here, as they gave simply RF, RCl, RBr, RI. How we can say means simply the reason we can think like RI bond dissociate very easily, so I minus is released easily. That is also very easy common reason. Sorry. And here, if you are taking F minus, or here it is releasing as Cl minus, here this is releasing as Br minus, this is releasing as I minus. Which one is bigger in size? Yes, I minus is bigger in size. So negative charge on larger atom. So this becomes more stable. This becomes more stable, and this becomes a weaker base. So it is a better living group. Weaker base and better living group. Okay, so RF, RCl, RBr, Ra if you are taking, then I minus. Here the I minus formed is having negative charge on a larger atom, so it is a more stable ion and a weaker base and better living group. That is simply we can say. And by taking another example, suppose if you are having a Cl minus and if you are having a CH3 COO minus, and if you are having C2H5 O minus, and if you are having NH2 minus. Now tell me the order. Tell me the order of living group ability for these molecules. Here tell me the order for these molecules. Suppose Cl minus. Cl minus is formed from what type of compound? It is formed from HCl. CH3CO minus is formed from CH3COOH, and it is formed from C2H5OH, and this is formed from NH3. So which is a stronger acid? First, I am not asking about this. Which is stronger acid? HCl, CH3COH, C2H5OH, NH3. Yes, very good. This is a stronger acid. If it is forming Cl minus, HCl is converting into Cl minus means it is a base now. Stronger acid releasing proton. H plus donor as per Bronsted-Lowry's theory. H plus donor is a stronger acid. After releasing it is forming a base, conjugate base. So here stronger acid forming a base is always weak. So it is forming a weak base. So Cl minus is a better living group than CH3CO minus, is better living group than C2H5O minus, is better living group than NH2 minus. So acidic nature if you are taking, this is a acidic nature order. This is a base strength order or basic nature order. Okay, this is a weaker base. Weaker base is always a better living group. Please remember, weak base is better living group. Always very, very important. Weak base is a better living group. Weak base is always a better living group. Okay. Third point, effect of concentration. Here, effect of concentration if you are taking, what is the rate of reaction we gave? Rate is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide power 1. Means it is depending only on the concentration of alkyl halide. Means here we can write 2 points. The first point is concentration of alkyl halide is high, the favorable condition is alkyl halide concentration must be high. Second, is there any nucleophile term in the rate equation? No. So, low concentration of nucleophile is enough because it is not influencing. If it is influencing, is sufficient. If the nucleophile concentration is affecting the rate of reaction, then we can consider. But nucleophile is not in the rate equation, so nucleophile is in low concentration, and moreover, weak nucleophile is enough. Weak nucleophile is enough for this SN1 reactions. In SN1 reaction, weak nucleophile is enough. What are weak nucleophiles? Generally, neutral nucleophiles. Example, neutral nucleophiles are weak nucleophiles than negative charge nucleophiles. Suppose H2O is present and OH minus is present, which is a weak nucleophile means H2O. OH minus is strong nucleophile. Similarly, NH3 and NH2 minus, negative charged species are strong nucleophiles always. And here CH3 COOH and CH3COO minus. Similarly, C2H5OH and C2H5O minus. So, weak nucleophile means neutral nucleophiles. They are enough for SN1 reaction. Next point, nature of solvent. We already said that polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvents are best for SN1 reactions. Why polar protic solvents are best? Here there is an alkyl halide. If that alkyl halide is converting into reaction intermediate C plus alkyl R1, R2 and R3, if you have any polar protic solvent, what they can do? What is the role of polar protic solvent means? Mainly, they try to ionize carbon halogen bond more quickly. If you have a polar protic solvent, it releases H plus ions, protons. Whenever H plus ion is released, then it will try to attack the X minus. So here it is a partial negative, it is partial positive. We are having H plus in this polar protic solvent. The H plus ions will always try to attract. They will try to attract the X minus. So the bond between C and X will be dissociated very easily. Whenever this bond dissociation occurs, carbocation formation occurs easily. The reaction carbocation is a tertiary carbocation which is stable. So to form a more stable carbocation, polar protic solvents are always favorable. Okay, that is why in the nature of solvent, polar protic solvents are always favorable for SN1 reactions. The next point, next influencing factor, stereochemistry of reaction. Here in the SN1 reaction, what is happening? R1, R2, R3 and Hex is taken, and in this reaction, first it is forming in the presence of a polar protic solvent, it is forming R1, R2 and R3. It is optically active or optically inactive. 4 different groups means it is optically active. OA means optically active. And here we are getting a carbocation. Carbocation is a sp2 hybridized trigonal planar shaped. And so this can be attacked by the nucleophile either from front side or from back side. So what is forming? A nucleophile attacked from front side or back side means what are the products? Here it is R1 and this is R2 and this is R3. And nucleophile front side attack means it is a retention product and if that is attacking from the back side, here this is a nucleophile, and C, if it is attacking from back side, R2, and this is R3, it is inversion product. So what is mainly formed? Retention and inversion product. A mixture of retention and inversion product is formed. What is this? Yes, it is called as racemic mixture. It is forming a racemic mixture. Whenever it is forming a racemic mixture, tell me, racemic mixture is optically inactive or optically active? It is optically inactive. Optically inactive. So, a optically active stereoisomer is converting into optically inactive. Please remember, very important, optically inactive stereoisomer. That is not a stereoisomer also. Optically inactive compound means we can say this reaction is stereospecific or stereoselective. Yes, very, very important. This is non-stereospecific. Non-stereospecific. Non-stereospecific and non-stereoselective. Non-stereoselective. Non-stereospecific or non-stereoselective reaction. SN1 reactions are non-stereospecific, non-stereoselective. I said clearly yesterday, non-stereospecific reaction means if one stereoisomer is converting into another stereoisomer, it is called as stereospecific reaction. If it is not converting into that, it is non-stereospecific. Now, stereoselective reaction means one optically active or inactive, whatever it may be. It may be stereoisomer, may not be stereoisomer, but if it is converting into a stereoisomer, it is called as stereoselective reaction. So, a compound may be or may not be stereoisomer, but if it is converting into another stereoisomer, that is called as stereoselective reaction. If one optically active compound is converting into another optically active compound, not like inactive, optically active compound, that is called as stereospecific. But here both are not happening. What is the product? It is optically inactive. Here in both these reactions we need a stereoisomer formation as a product. But here we are not getting optically active product. So optically inactive racemic mixture is forming. So SN1 reactions are non-stereospecific, non-stereoselective reactions. The last factor which influences SN1 reaction, that is catalyst, heavy metal ions. Heavy metal ions like Pb plus 2, Az plus Bronsted acids. Bronsted acids and Lewis acids. Lewis acids and strong acids like mineral acids. So, example AlCl3 and ZnCl2 and HA type of acids. Here, more electronegative atom A containing compounds will act as catalyst for SN1 reactions. Okay. Lastly, order of reactivity. Order of reactivity of alkyl halides in SN1 reactions. Order of reactivity of alkyl halides towards SN1 reaction. Mainly remember the most reactive is benzyl halides. Next one is allyl halides. Allyl halides. And the next one is tertiary alkyl halides. Tertiary alkyl halides. And the next one is secondary alkyl halides. secondary alkyl halides, and the next one is primary alkyl halides, and the last one is methyl halide, Okay, vinyl halides and aryl halides, bridgehead halides doesn't undergo SN1 reaction. Vinyl halides, aryl halides, So generally vinyl halides, aryl halides, bridgehead halides, doesn't show SN1 reaction, doesn't undergoes to SN1 reaction. They never undergoes to SN1 reaction because they forms very unstable carbocations. So they are not participating, or they are reluctant towards SN1 reactions.